I have something to share.
Yes, please do.
I have figured out the formula for Rudy Kirchner's natural weed killer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because I can't afford to buy it through Amazon.
Oh,
No way.
Amazon?
But through Amazon, it's
Because
50 bucks.
that bought it.
Gallons. Yeah.
The company that bought it is selling it through Amazon now?
Yeah. But if I bought it at his house, I got 5 gallons for 20 bucks.
Right. But we can't.
And now his son doesn't want to sell it to me like that. So I figured out I can, I'm smarter than an average bear.
You sure are.
Anyway, so here it is. 1 quart acetic acid to a gallon of salt water. And I got the acetic acid, $10 for a gallon at Vero Chemical.
Vero Chem is a great store.
It is.
So are you going to send this out in an email?
I could send it.
Yes, just send it.
Or I could share it to Jim, and he could
Jim or Karen, and they can blast it out on the VMS. Yes.
Yeah, anyway, it was easy and it worked very well, whether it was sunny, shady, rainy. I mean, it didn't do it in rain, but it rained one time. It rained like 3 hours after I did it. It still worked. Anyway, I was thrilled to be able to figure that out. And needless to say, I got salt water from the river, which is easier than the ocean.
Okay.
Anyway, just wanted to share that with all of our natural gardeners, people that don't want to use anything yucky.
Right. And that's always a great.
Okay, so I will send a message to Jim to do that.
Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, so I have very little to talk about today. Acetic acid is vinegar.
It is, but from Vero Chemical, it's full strength.
It is full strength. So
it's
yeah,
full strength.
30% vinegar along with table salt will work just fine, Nancy.
Yes,
Well,
but
I'm talking to Nancy Richards.
30%.
Hold on, I'm talking to Nancy Richards, who's sending messages in the chat. And then there's you, Nancy Madsen. So sorry about that, y'all. So what were you saying, Julia?
I just wanted to know if it was safe for the lagoon for those people who are living along the lagoon still spraying residents up this way, which I should have called someone but didn't know who to call. I saw a couple of people that live on the river spraying down over the bank.
Those areas are protected. Let's start with that.
People that live there.
The people who live there tend to ignore the fact that those areas are protected because we are human beings and we want what we want and we want it how we want it, et cetera, et cetera. I don't remember who it is that, well, I guess it would be, what's her name? Oh, I can see her name and I can't remember it. Peralta, from code enforcement, who would be the person that we would contact about that sort of thing. But we would still have to be very careful of the ways that we even use that kind of thing, because it will leave the soil itself sterile under many, many circumstances. The best practice would be to, again, make a plan and engage in removing what you do not find to be the plants that you want to have there, and replacing those plants with things that you would like to cultivate there, right? And hopefully it would be things that are more native, for 3 reasons, honestly. Most of our native plants have some additional service to the environment by providing food or shelter or whatever to wildlife, right? So you're going to provide for wildlife. That's one. The second factor for keeping it as close to native in that area is because the ecosystem there is already very, very off kilter from our activities. So finding out what might have been there from before and replacing those things would be very, very helpful to allowing that area to be reclaimed and function the way that it should function. A lot of our problems come from when we go in and modify something and we're at loggerheads with nature, right? And who wins? Nature. She has patience. She really does. And she will outlast you every time, right? So trying to keep it as close to native as possible is very helpful for that. And then the other thing is the level of maintenance. If you select the correct plants, the level of maintenance is definitely going to have to be lower because those things already thrive there before, right? So you're not going to have to keep on going back and doing a lot of the extra maintenance or fighting with it as you would have done. So that is what we would hope would be the action plan for areas like that. Unfortunately, there are many people who still spray whatever they intend to spray in those spaces. I pulled over a few months ago and gave my business card to a professional crew. And I took pictures of them and let them know that I was taking pictures of them. And then I said to them, if you all have not been trained properly, then you're not licensed. And if you are licensed, then you know you're operating outside of your license. Either way, you should not be out here doing any of this within 10 feet of that water body. It's that simple. So if you need training, I'm here. If you don't need training, if you know that what you're doing is wrong, I've got pictures. Let's figure this out.
Say?
Huh?
So what did they say?
One of the workers gave me the number for his supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
And I called the supervisor and I said, they're operating under your license and I will be happy to help you be able to keep your license because this is the way that you earn your living. So maybe they've been misinformed or maybe they did not understand you. However, I'm going to send you a few pictures of what your work crew is out here doing within 10 feet of the water. And you and I both know this is not correct. This is not what you're licensed to do. And then I heard cell phones ringing and within about 5 or 10 minutes. So I think that even if they were temporarily pulled away from that job until I left, I caused a little bit of inconvenience. And I know from the business end, it costs money to move a crew, to have them stop what they're doing and drive off, even if it meant coming back. It cost them something. And I was quite fine with that. I'll take that. So that's what happened on that day. When I teach the professionals, I say to them, I know that a lot of you think that this is mostly pie in the sky because other people have been profitable, etc., doing nonsense. But you have to understand that there is a need for this training. There's a reason why we're giving you this training. And one of those reasons happens to be that if you all keep on doing this kind of nonsense, you're not going to have customers to be able to go and service. Because shoreline erosion is a very real thing, right? And if we don't have the right plants in that area, keeping that soil put together, because you kill it or somebody else kills it and the water just comes and reclaims its space, then who are you going to charge your big bucks? Do the right thing, do it the right way, and give your clients the information that they need. And it is incumbent upon us that when people walk into our office or they send us an email or they make a phone call or however it is that we're in contact with people these days, that we too say to them, it is correct. And if you do not like the appearance of that area because you think it's very weedy or whatever, here are 2 things that you should do. Go see what else is living out there and see if you don't mind. Or 2, make a plan to manage it. Here are alternative instructions for your landscaping company. We all have to be on the same page so that when the professional is talking to their client, they're saying the same thing we're saying. When we talk to their client, we're telling them, yeah, your professional cares about you and the environment, and we can all have what we want. You want a better view? Let's give you a better view. But a better view is not weed free. It's make a different plant choice. So that is one of the things that I think I've done that training sort of kind of almost with you all before. And I know that I have to redo it at some point during the next year for sure. Because we have some new people, and I am also very much aware of the fact that some of my people from before were not able to attend my previous training. So I will redo that. I will definitely redo the perceptions of Florida-friendly landscaping. And yes, we're going to always use that branding. We're going to always use that terminology because that is our brand. That is our brand, and that is the brand that we're promoting. And yes, I remember during the training, people will say, oh, people get turned off just hearing it because they have the wrong impression of it. It is our job to give them the right impression. It is our job to clear up those misconceptions. And it's one itty bitty conversation at a time. You never win a whole entire war just by going out there and fighting one day, right? It's battle after battle. It's small battle after small battle. And so that's what we're going to do. I need some ideas, y'all. So I want you all to start thinking about some things for me and get back to me on a few ideas, because right now there are no festivals scheduled, remember? So what I would like to do is to set up better displays in different areas, right? So we have our garden over at the IG Center. I want to put something inside the IG Center on a table, right? Yes.
Nikki, I was listening to a talk called Advanced Master Gardening Training, and Violet from Indian River mentioned about training new master gardeners that they have a printed checkoff list for plant issues, IDs, plant problems, diagnosis, which makes it easier for new master gardeners to run down the list of questions while they were on the phone. And I've only done the desk once, and I felt very insecure because I don't have a lot of experience as a master gardener. So with this checkoff list, do you know where it is, and could you leave it out?
I can do you one better. I can email it to you and go leave it out.
Okay.
And
Excellent.
Violet from Indian River County is the Violet.
I recognize the name.
Yes.
Violet.
The Violet. And she is wonderful.
She also said she has a card of other references to turn to besides Edith that she would keep with her. And I'm like, oh, I'd like to get a picture of that card.
It's the half sheet, and it has like the list. So there it is, Florida gardening websites.
All right.
So those are also in the office as well. If you send me an email with specifically the diagnosis
Yeah.
sheets and the half sheet for websites and whatnot, I'll leave it on the desk. It would have been part of your internship training had you all been able to do that kind of a rotation in office. But you all haven't had that opportunity, which is, it is very
So sad.
chafing.
Also, the IG Center Garden got hit by that frost we had the other week. So
Yes.
someone needs to take a look at it. I think that 9, it needs to be replanted. The coleus look awful. The yellow daisies have stopped producing and turned a reddish color like they're going by. It's not looking good. I also put a stick in where the other 2 plants were missing in beds 1 and 2, because Saturday will be my last time there because I'm going away for the holiday. So someone that needs to take a look at it, see what they want to replace in Garden 9.
I'll be out there. I am in the process of spray painting 2 large pots red. I have some coleus and I have some Alyssum. And yes, as you can see, Charlie is showing you the coleus that we gave him to babysit for us from the day that we were out there planting. So I will be going to rob him of a few of those, and I'm going to also put a couple of pentas in there.
Yeah, the pentas are doing good in beds 1 and 2.
Yeah.
The coleus, it's funny, they almost look like they're lion tailed. They're knobby and,
Yes.
they just look awful.
So I will go ahead and I'll get out there. I believe I should be going past there tomorrow. I'm not sure, but if I do, I'll just make myself like I normally do. I make myself a list and I put a few quantities on it. I'll go get the plants and everything. And then I'll send out an email for somebody to go out there and plant them for me. Yes, Nancy.
Happy to help plant. Let me know when.
Thank you. I will
love
definitely send it out. I will definitely send it out. I'm gonna, I'll most likely go ahead and wait until my pots are completely dry so that we can just do the pots and the replacement plants all at once. Janice, I know you texted me or emailed me whatever it was that wasn't doing well out there.
Yeah, so it's the coleus, the yellow flowers, the yellow daisies in bed 9. In
Okay.
beds 1 and 2, one of the lime green coleuses died and one of the rudbeckias died. And I left a little stick in the ground to show you where they were.
Okay, so give me a moment here. Move to this screen. And create. Okay. So I'm going to put on my list, replace coleus. 1 rudbeckia. Bush daisies.
And you said there was going to be some kind of signage so the public.
Yes. Yes. I will be working on that for the rest of this afternoon after I finish my term paper, which I started over. I think that I am wicked to myself, but when I read my term paper, there were just things that I just, as a small child, I was very, very aware that I represented myself. And when I finished reading through most of what I had in my paper, there was a bit of it that was very disjointed. And when I kept on rewriting that bit, it still didn't plug in correctly. So then I put that on one screen, and I started with the bits that I liked the most, that I thought were more cohesive. So basically I started over.
If
Better
you want
now?
me, I'll tell you what, I'm working the office tomorrow. I can drop those coleus off in bed 9 and you can pick them up at your leisure.
Oh, that would be awesome. So I'm going to be in office from about 9 o'clock tomorrow as well, because
Oh, okay, then I'll just give them to you in person.
yeah, tomorrow's my day to at least close the office, but I want to be in there for opening tomorrow. So I'll see you there. But yeah, I've started over on my term paper because I don't like myself. Anyway, so that is that. Okay, so replacing the coleus, I need to get a replacement rudbeckia. The bush daisies are not doing well, which I thought they would have. So I'll go out there and have a gander and see what I can see. I'm aware that you said that the porterweed was doing just fine, though.
Yeah, I mean, it had a little black spot in one area, and we had some chewing. I found the culprit. It was a cicada. I'm sure there's more than one, but I
Of
mean,
course. All right.
Takes a real green thumb to grow porterweed.
Man.
Oh, man.
I have a few other varieties of coleus as well that I'm going to just prop. Or you know what, Charlie, how about I take some cuttings and I exchange with you tomorrow morning?
Okay,
Yes.
I got plenty of pots and I've still got some dirt.
Oh, great, great. That'll work. That'll work just fine. Yes, I'll exchange cuttings with you because I have a few really, really cute varieties that I wouldn't mind keeping in a rotation out there. All right, so get one rudbeckia, the bush daisies. All right, so let me send an email to myself so that I'll know what it is I'm going to be looking at my pictures for and what I'll be sending out. All right. So that'll be that. All right, so back to what I was saying to you all about display ideas. All right. So I need about 2 people to help me figure out display ideas and to actually get them done. So more than 2 people can send me ideas for displays, but I need at least 2 people to help me put them out there. So some of my things that I think would be great is plants for shade, plants for pollinators. So making sure that we, like, I used to do a container garden for all of the times when we would go out to like different events. And I would, like, one time we did the hibiscus festival and I just put together a 12-inch pot with the little saucer in the middle and everything. And it had like milkweed, a penta, parsley, and the little saucer in there with water and rocks. So I think that something like that would be easy to help do as a display, but to really make sure that we have like really good pictures and other things like that. That's pretty much what I'm hoping for when it comes to doing displays. And maybe other things that I haven't thought about. I am not a creative person.
But you already have some really good slides that we could use when you have that. I remember it's one of the early in this lecture series of Florida Friendly Gardening. They show with one with lots of grass and one with less grass. And that would be a really good introduction to Florida Friendly Gardening.
So I was wondering about that. And I was thinking of making a display that says 5 steps to a Florida friendlier garden.
Yeah.
So are you volunteering to help me figure this out?
Sure.
All right. So that is definitely one of the things that I I want to do, because right now we're limited in the ways that we can access people and the ways that people can access us, right? Another thing that I want you all to keep in mind is I am going to do a hybrid technology class, because there are a lot of you who used to show up to our meetings that are not getting onto Zoom right now because you don't know how to access it, or the way that you would have to access it is not going to allow you to interact. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to book the big conference room downstairs where I can have at least 7 people in person show up with whatever it is that they use. So if it's a tablet, if it's a mobile phone, whatever it is, an old laptop or a new laptop, I want to make sure that I give the training for everyone to be able to say, okay, I may or may not have this to be able to speak back, but I can still join and be able to see everybody and stay up to date. I have a lot of volunteers who I normally see, but I'm not seeing them. And the only thing that I notice is the difference in the way that we deliver our programming. So that's the only thing that I can think of. Going from person to person, figuring out the ways that they're accessing it and being able to troubleshoot it there and then. And of course, I would do it as a Zoom meeting, so whoever else it is. So some of you have access to our Facebook page, but you're not quite clear on when I say share our posts, right? So even that I'm going to do on that day. I think I really just need to do a tech training. So, and of course we have our private Facebook group thing there. I think I have like half of the volunteers on that private Facebook page, but most of you who are actually on Facebook are not members on that. And I think that that's another outlet for being able to get with one another that is not being used. So it's not our public Facebook page, but the private one. I think that there are lots of things that we're not using because we have people who cannot use them or who are not confident enough to give it a shot. And it can, and it can be frustrating. I'm aware of this because I've had to teach people to use different things to access programming in different ways before. So I am aware that is one of the issues. But I think that we can get everybody to use some sort of technology to access this programming. So be it just joining the Facebook group or coming on to the weekly meetings or however it is that we need to be able to keep everyone in touch. That would be great. Yes, Karen, it is still in place for January through February, to be honest. It is not going to get lifted. I am thinking that until there is a vaccine system for everyone who wants to be inoculated to be able to be inoculated, we're going to keep it at those 3 days. I'm thinking that maybe I'll do 1 or 2 shifts in the afternoon, but I'm not there yet with that. And we're not even covering the morning shifts anyway. So yes, thank you both for putting up with the flipping and flopping. I am truly following all of the best management practices that I can find for ways to manage volunteers in in-person situations. You all are doing a great job, Karen. Do not think that you're not. You all are doing an excellent job. All things considered, and even without these things that we're considering, you all are really doing a great job. We can all do more. We can all do a little bit better. And that is why we're having these meetings and we're talking and doing the things that we're doing.